evening. I'd like to call the Guthrie Historic Preservation Commission to order for April 2015. Could we please have a roll call?
Absolutely.
Mr. Mosley.
Chairman Wood,
Present.
Commissioner Bothroyd,
Here.
Commissioner Brown,
Here.
Commissioner Long. Here. Commissioner Mahoney,
Here.
and Commissioner Robbins. Absent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Are there any public comments? Anybody here that may not be on the record tonight? If not, we'll move right along to item 3, the approval of minutes of the March 2015 commission meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read them, look over, or any? If there's nothing, I would entertain for a motion to approve.
So move. Second.
And a second. Thank you. And we have ask us how we feel, Mr. Moore.
Absolutely. Motion is to approve the minutes of the March 2015 meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none.
Very well. Thank you very much. Moving right on, discussion and possible action regarding application number CA 2015-2011-2871 for the property located at 204 East Oklahoma Avenue regarding a request for new signage, painting the front of the building, and allowing 2 bistro sets to be placed in front of the building.
And the applicant is here tonight.
And the applicant is here tonight. Hello, how you doing? Background is applicant Ms. Colette Higgins, I guess, is that correct?
No.
Am I in the, oh, that's South Division. I'm in the wrong, I've jumped way ahead. Sorry about that. Ms. Myers, okay. You want to be, anyway. The applicant, Ms. Bonnie Myers, located at 204 East Oklahoma, is seeking approval to place signage on the front middle window and door, painting the front of the building and allowing for 2 bistro sets to be placed out front for outdoor dining. The applicant will be here. Thank you for being here. Any comments from staff?
For the outdoor bistro, we'll just make sure that they are properly going along with ADA compliance so that people can pass through. We'll visit about that for the planning. I'll swing by or something.
Very well. Any other comments from commission?
If they were to be approved, sorry.
On colors and, now, is this isn't your building, is it, or is this your building? No, you're just painting, going to do all the painting for all the different windows and things around there and the new signage.
Well, I'm in it, so I'm going to be responsible.
It's yours, so, okay. Comments from commissioners on colors? Yes, if we need, well, when we ask, yes.
Okay.
If there's anything, and there's anything specific, then if you would, please step up to the microphone, but
I have a question. What kind of block lettering are you going to be using?
Well, it's going to be, it's not necessarily going to be a block lettering. It's just going to be I don't know how to explain it really.
Is it a kind of a script like you've got
Yeah.
here?
Yes.
Okay.
But I had to use my finger because I was using my phone. So I did the best I could, and I got the colors on there as close as I could. That's why I attached the
The
palette
actual.
color to it.
Okay, so on the window, as far as your block lettering, are you going to have some type of logo that goes with that, or it'll just say?
It'll just say Mama
Bee's?
Bee's Eatery. Yes.
okay.
How big will the letters be on the window?
We'd just have to do it proportionate to the window, and I think they said it would be about like a foot. So,
I like your color scheme.
thank you.
I have a question about painting the top of the windows. Is that
Yes.
allowable?
Actually,
well,
I would-
But,
actually, to come in on that, that is wafer board that's currently flaking out and up there currently. And I don't know that it actually ever went before the commission when they took those windows out and put those new windows in. And I would advise that those not be wood, but they actually be the arched window, the eyebrow windows.
I agree, and I think that is something, if we can have a letter sent to the building owner, because I've noticed that too, they've just blocked the hole, and that needs to be done. Now, painting that, I don't have a problem with you painting
Right,
that wood,
until-
but we are going to try to get a hold of the owner to have
would be great.
actual windows put in there, because that has to be leaking, and to get those windows approved.
Yes, I agree.
That is not the, they should have been brought
Completely agree
before.
with you 100%.
Well,
Well, it's not even the proper wood that should be for an exposed
No.
No,
frontage.
it's
No,
not.
it needs
It's
to
that
be-
pressed wafer board.
Right.
It wouldn't be no.
But while we're up there, we're going to seal all of that, and like around the windows and all that. I mean, it needs to be done properly if it's going to be done. And even though I'm renting the building, like I say, my business is in there, so I feel like I'm responsible for that. As far as, I mean, because I'm representing myself as well, so.
I think the color choices these color swatches look nice.
Yeah.
Complementary to whatever the current gray that's on there.
Are you going to be keeping the lighting that goes around the awning that's in place? Are you going to replace it, or
We're
just?
probably going to replace it because there's several bulbs that are broken and it needs to come down. It's just, and I don't even know if it's honestly wired properly, so I don't know where it's supposed to be wired to.
I think they're just Christmas
I
lights
do
that they hung
too.
up and left up.
I think so
essentially.
too. So,
I actually kind of like the script font.
too.
It's
I think
if
it
it's
looks
big
good.
enough,
Yes.
I'd want it to be wide,
Right.
so that it's visible and not
And
looking
readable.
like it.
Something that can be seen, and I
Seen.
agree, that
Yes.
is not something that's out of,
If we go according to our current guidelines, though, we've got the same Mama B, I guess it's two different things, Mama B's and then Mama B's Eatery, since they're both front-facing signs on the window and on the building.
I don't feel that that's going to be a problem here. Being that it is an eatery, I think we can make an exception with that. I don't feel that that's going to be a problem.
There was a problem next door, so that's why I brought it up.
The problem next door to who? with
Yeah, I
who?
couldn't put Boutique 206 on the window.
You
So,
couldn't?
no.
Where was I? I wasn't here at that
I-
meeting.
And I'm not complaining, I'm just saying, if this is where the
That's something we need to
consistency
standardize,
is
yeah.
not being consistent with, so are
Yeah.
we-
Well, we need to be, and that's why we're trying to get these, we've talked about changing the ordinance, and I don't remember when you brought that to us.
what was this?
I must have,
Last fall.
I guess I was out of
Say
town
around-
that day.
You weren't here?
August, September.
Yeah.
I was in,
Nonetheless, we
Anyway.
just want to make sure we make note of that if we're going to change.
I agree.
We need to make some changes in that side ordinance if
and
we're
that
going
is,
to allow it.
I agree, and that's one of the changes that we've talked about making, so that's why I'm not as opposed to having that.
Okay.
And we can talk about, maybe visit your request.
Oh, I've adapted now. I'm good. But I'm just saying. We got to be consistent.
Exactly, we do need to be consistent.
Well, I would like to get an exact size of the lettering on the signage, just so we have it, that's what we're agreeing on.
You said 12-inch. Are you talking about the one on the window, or are you talking about up
the one on the
high?
window, the one up high, I believe it was it 18 inches? 18 to 2 foot for the one on the front. And then, it's kind of hard to get that exact measurement until I get somebody up there to center it for me and realize, where that needs to be spaced, because it's going to have to be centered, because I'm a little OCD on that, so.
Is this to be painted on that current stucco? Because I know there's current boards that are there.
Yes.
Okay,
the
so all
board-
those boards will come down?
The boards will come down, except if, this right here that's around it, we're gonna use as a trim, but it'll be all evened up, and so it would be the white trim, so allowing you to go with the same trim that would be going around the windows.
Okay, so
Okay.
this will be
Inside of the
trim.
window.
Some of these boards would stay as trim
Yes.
to make essentially boxes that you would paint
Yes,
these colors in. Okay.
and then that way it would all blend up into the windows, because well, I guess inside the arch is about this much, and it needs to be painted.
Yes,
And a lot of, caulk and things of that nature.
Okay.
very well.
I think as long as, and tell me if you are in disagreement, as long as they don't go outside the 1/3 window ratio, we would be okay with it.
I'd
And
be okay with
probably
it.
12 inches would probably be pretty close.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. And we're talking about and this gets into the different areas we've discussed here in this panel before, those 3 windows. as one large window, as opposed to three separate windows, the way they are put, or the way they're attached to the building. It's just a,
I don't want them too large, and I don't want them too small. I mean, I've obviously want them large enough so when passersby can see, they realize what they're looking at. But I also don't want them too large to manipulate being able to see inside the restaurant either,
right,
you know, so.
Will it be in white font like you have here?
Yes.
okay. I think the colors and everything, I think that will draw attention to your business, which is a good thing, and it brings people to that part of the block, which is even better for everybody involved
Yes.
down in that area. So, any other comments from commissioners? Concerns? Then would we like to entertain for a motion to approve as submitted?
I'll move.
We have a
Second
motion
it.
and we have a second. Ask us how we feel, please.
All right. Motion to approve as submitted. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? Hearing none.
Could we make sure that those specifications are out there, though, that we discussed that?
I've got, in the minutes will show applicant will not exceed the 1/3 spacing on the window. The eyebrow windows specifically need to be, or the original eyebrow windows need to be looked to be replaced instead of the wafer paneling. 12-inch tall lettering on the window, 18-inch to 24-inch tall lettering above the awning, and a couple other notes like script font and no logo.
Okay.
Very good.
And just let me affirm one more time, it is okay until you contact the owner of the building to paint the wafer. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that is
Just wanted to
correct.
make sure, because that
Okay.
would look funny, but.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 5, discussion and possible action regarding application number 2015-2011-2872 for the property located at 308 South Division regarding a request for new signage and approval to paint the building. The background, the applicant, Colette Higgins now we got the right person in the right order, located at 308 South Division is seeking approval to paint the building and approval of signage to be painted on the exterior of the property. The location is previously used as a photograph developing business. Any comments from staff?
No comments.
If you would please, Ms. Higgins, if you would please step up here. There's I take it that are these going to be hand lettered or hand painted, the Higgins Printing Service or fax copy print on the building, or are those going to be applied letters? How is that going?
It will be painted, but I need to present an update. I think you have the one like this.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And since then, since we've had several quotes, we're going to go with, can I?
Oh, yes, please, thank you.
This is an updated
Thank you.
version, and I'll explain why. After the assessment, I've had 3 different quotes. The actual upper awning, I have another set.
They're all different
if you
ones?
need it. Right, it's 3 different angles.
Okay.
I have another set, you need it?
If you don't mind.
I thought these were all the same. Okay, these are not all the same.
No, it's 3 different angles. So initially, we were going to paint the awning, the large awning on the front. It has a substance, a very textured substance where we were going to apply the black. It's going to cost quite a bit for coverage because of what it's made of. Some of it needs to be repaired. So at this time, we're going to opt out of covering the awning black. We're just going to leave the colors that are there, which is the navy blue, I think it is, and the white stripe will be painted. So we have, and then the existing boards that are already there, they're plywood. We're just going to apply text art to the existing boards, and I think there's 3. So the one that's affixed to the building will be our logo, and the other 2, north and south, will be text, and then on the front will also be text. And Fast Signs is working on a final mock-up right now. Mr. Roddy Murphy, he's the manager of Fast Signs, for us to finalize it. It's not final just yet, but that's the design that I submitted to him for a quote.
I noticed one thing for sure and that it really kind of goes against the commission here is that you've already started painting.
It's just primer.
And it is just primer.
It's just primer. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Because starting before approval can get a little dicey with everything. I just want to put that out there. So we're looking this over now that there are changes with this. The white with the black looked really, really nice. I thought that that
Looked
really
clean.
was sharp and clean and kind of
It
fits.
popped.
It
It
really
did.
did pop.
Yeah, that is my plan. I got an $11,000 quote on that. That's because the panels are not very, I can't describe it. I had a gentleman come out and he did an assessment, but one of the panels is broken in. So that whole 4 foot or 6 foot needs to be taken down before they apply anything to it, which is going to cost us a lot more. So I just thought that, of course, to save on costs, I would wait, maybe submit at a later date to have that done and just use the color that's there. But the reason we wanted to apply white, a bright white, is just to open it up a little bit because it seems so dark and we've just had primer applied and we're waiting to finalize it.
I'm not a huge fan of the big things that have their phone number and their email. It just seems too
Yeah.
busy. It's more than, it's like a big billboard.
Yeah.
And rather than signage.
I agree.
The fixture is there. Of course, it would have to be taken down if we don't apply anything to the front. It's a metal fixture, and it used to say 1 hour master photo.
Have you thought about putting your HPS in front of this area instead? Your logo? 'Cause
I did. It just, it's just 3 letters, and I just thought maybe we weren't utilizing the space. The big question every time we get a phone call is our email and phone number, so I was trying to put it on the front. And then affix the logo to our building.
The signage on the side, the north and south, is that is also you're going to use color copies, design, and layout in that area?
That's our plan. Nothing's there now. It's actually just white.
In fact, yes.
It's white plywood. I mean, the plywood is there. We've applied the primer to it. It's just plain white right now. So we just added the text art.
It's just a lot of signage for a small space.
Yes. And I'm having difficulty grasping everything that's going to go around it. I agree with Commissioner Long on that there's just a lot of things. If your main sign up front said Higgins Print Services and maybe instead, and then if with your phone number, maybe on the north and south, or redo that, something that is not quite so just busy. I understand you're wanting to get out there. Color copies and design and layout maybe is something that could go on your windows itself, because that tells what you're doing, where the
Right.
signage on the top is really what's going to be grasping people as they come into town and looking at that. And I feel that, like Mr. Long is saying, it's people aren't going to be able to grasp it all as they're driving down the street. So
So previously, there was just one word. Would that work?
for the main sign up front,
North and south?
I'm looking at the north and south as print, copy, fax, and scan,
Yeah,
so,
that's my design, but
Yeah.
previously it said film
yes,
and photos.
right.
Okay.
So if that would be a place that, might be something you would put your phone number or contact information, that way people know, or, of course, people are coming up from the north and south, they could see Higgins Printing there. I understand that it's hard to see maybe from the front, you want to be seen from all directions, and I understand that. So it's a difficult thing to grasp right here, what we're doing. I like the idea of your logo up on the building. I think that that's fine. It is, I really like your original plan is probably the best out of everything.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to go with,
Yeah.
I mean, if this current box is here, I mean, I understand what was there, it used to say photo, but
Yeah.
part of the things that allow us to go, for things to go before the commission is that we can correct things that maybe were done in the past that maybe aren't fitting now. And if you could do your Higgins Printing Services across this front, like you had it here, but just on this, I guess on this sign, that would be,
It actually angles. It has a point to it. I know you may not be able to tell there, but it's an actual point in that sign. It's not a flat surface.
okay.
That's why I thought the HPS would look good, because you could have the H and then have the P curving over with the S, and then you could have your information on your building. Not, I don't know about,
But if you're coming from, the south, I guess headed north, you can only see one side at a time. And then as you pass, you'll see the other side. I wouldn't want to break the logo up. I mean, I'm open
Yeah.
to making the adjustments. I mean, none of that is set in stone. I'm working on my third quote now, and a lot of times it's just kind of placing it and taking a look at it, which is what I've done.
What if you took this frame down altogether and just went flat up against it with your plywood sign or whatever type of sign you're going to put on there? So it'd be flat versus this arched
Yes, versus the metal
metal pitch
Yeah.
sign.
brace.
I could do that. I didn't get a cost estimate to remove that frame. It is rather large, and it is there. It is applied. So, yeah, we could take it down and just go flat, and just use plywood, just like the other two sides. I was just a little afraid of tampering with that awning after I saw some of the assessments. I left the folder. I meant to bring it, the gentleman that did the assessment. Very professional.
I don't feel taking something like that down would be as costly as trying to redo it or put it up or repair it. I think taking it down would be rather, I would hope. Now, I honestly, I don't know.
Yeah,
But just thinking how, it just is I'm looking at logic, but it may not be logical to think that
Yeah,
way,
I'm
knowing
open.
what it is. But that would be a big help. I think that would make things look a lot cleaner, and then put your Higgins Printing Service as your main sign there.
on the front. Okay.
Uh-huh, and then say your contact information on the north and south portion.
Meaning like the phone number on one side and maybe, I mean, is there a limit?
Phone in and your,
The email,
yes.
Email.
you think?
Email,
Okay.
uh-huh.
Well, I can redo this and hope to represent it.
Chairman, would it be possible for us to go ahead and approve the sign on the building and the paint so they can continue forward, and then bring the new signage for the awning back to us?
Of course, that would be that
If
would be
you
the
would like to
best
do
thing to do
that.
that.
Yes, that's
Where?
fine. Approving, say that again, the building?
Your painting
The painting.
that you want to do, and then the HPS logo that you want to put,
Right,
which everyone, or what I've heard so far, seems to meet committee approval.
okay,
And then the signage on the awning, bring back to us.
I can do that.
That way you can continue moving forward with your renovations.
Yes, I can do that.
That works very well. Thank you for bringing that up. How does that sound to the rest of the commission?
So I have a question. Are you opposed to the Arial Black font? It's called Arial Black because it's very bold. Okay, good.
No, that's, on that particular building, it's a mid-century modern building. I think that font matches that style of structure and architecture, so that would be fine there.
Good.
Basically of how it's applied and what kind of wording and how much is there, I think is really more the issue, what we're having with right now. If that bracket can be taken down and then that entire area, it looks like behind it doesn't have the trim, that center
Right.
trim, so it would be a place to put a piece of plywood and a sign
I agree.
that would be seen from all angles easily at that point, I think might be even better for you. Hopefully it would give you better vision and visibility.
I agree with that.
Okay. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the logo and the painting of the building.
And I will second.
Any other comments before we proceed to vote?
No.
Nope, that's good.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve the logo and the painting of the building. That is affixing the logo to the building. It's been motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Hearing none.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Very well. Moving on to item 6, once we do some house cleaning here. Discussion and possible action regarding application number 2015-2011-2913 for the property located at 124 West Harrison Avenue regarding a request to replace the second and third story windows and approval to replace the front door. Background is the applicant, Mr. Larry Ladd, located at 124 West Harrison Avenue, seeks approval to install new windows and doors with the intention that the appearance from the street should not change. This application was delivered to the Planning Department on March 17, 2015. Any comments from staff?
Not at this time.
Okay, very well. Hello, Mr. Ladd, how you doing?
Good.
Okay. So you're wanting to replace the windows on the second and third floors?
Correct.
Okay, and I take it it's, what you've given us here in our packet is aluminum, they're extruded aluminum windows?
From what I understand, it's actually aluminum window with a vinyl wrap to it.
Okay,
So they're really energy efficient bases and are supposed to last a long time.
now, as far as the window itself, will it match or come very close to the profile of the trim and moldings that are there?
Yes, from my understanding, it's going to look very similar to what's currently there.
Okay, and so you're not going to change the aspect of the windows. In other words, the third floor is still going to have the eyebrow upper lights,
Yes,
and then there's basically a 3-light window in the second floor.
correct.
Or-
So wherever currently there's a double hung break, there will still be a break. By the way, the brochure, the only brochure they gave us shows like those silly grids and things, those won't be on there. The look and feel of the window is going to be the same.
Okay, so
Unless you're on a ladder looking at it,
unless you're right there where you can put
Yes.
your hands on it. As far as screens, will they have screens on them?
And I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that.
Windows.
I believe no, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, all right, now, will these be double hung, or are these just going to be a single hung window?
We've gone back and forth on that. We like the idea of them opening so that we can service things from the outside. You know, every once in a while you have to get wasp nests and things like that. But it's a hotel, and sometimes your guests get crazy ideas in their heads. So we're going back and forth on whether they're going to be an active window or an inactive window.
Okay,
Either way, the look
it'll be stopped.
will remain the same.
If they do open, they'll probably have a safety stop, so you can't open them far enough for,
We'll at least even create one.
Yes.
Yeah. Keep jumpers, you know. It's second floor, so it'd be a sad jump anyway.
But hanging out to watch the parade
Parade.
happen, you
Yeah.
know, and we've had one too many Jellos or something, you know.
Jello shots. If I may make
We'll
a,
surf down the stairs once on a mattress. So if they can dream it, they
We hear them occasionally at the theater
yes,
when we're
you
in the
never-
booth.
Never know what'll happen, so.
Yeah.
Will they be white? Will it be white?
Yes, that was the next
Yes,
call.
they'll be white, and it does fit into our current approved color scheme as far as, we have like a white, a beige, black, and a gold, and I brought that with me if you need to see that.
okay,
But the windows themselves would be white, the trim would be the other 3 accent colors.
very well. One thing I would suggest, please, if you are going to do a window screen,
Yes.
make it a full window screen that will cover both top and bottom. It will be more cohesive to the look of the building. A lot of the buildings, if you look around, they only have either the half screen that only covers the working window, and they tend to detract. They don't look like the original window, and then it becomes very obvious that they are replacements.
Right, I'll make sure that they do that.
Or
I
no
I
screen.
walked
Or
the
no
city
screen,
kind of to
yeah.
see what looked good and what didn't, and I'm in agreement with you, and that's why I'm kind of saying I don't think we'll do the screens. We had them on Elks Alley, and I removed all the screens
Then that's,
for
and that's
aesthetic
a
reasons.
cost savings too
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that, so, very well, that's,
And if we're opening the window, it's to reach out and do something, or even if it is somebody looking to look at the parade, the screen's just in the way anyways, so.
great. Well, I don't see a problem with the windows, that's a lot of windows.
Yes, and one thing that, just for clarity too, the two buildings they're connected via stairwells and fire escapes and everything else is 120 and 124. Cody did spot that I put the application on 124. We actually want to do the upper rooms in the Pollard where we have rooms and 124 around. And if you don't have
That was going to be my next question.
pictures of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry, it's one of those things where they've
Yep.
been attached so long, I think of them as one building. But we do want to do all of those. So the windows over the Pollard, not the ones directly over the awning, that are part of the Pollard front.
That would
but
be,
the-
yes,
the
the
second floor.
entresols. Well,
Yeah.
it would be the second floor and not the entresols.
Correct.
Okay.
Those are there as well, and I went in a couple times to find out if I needed to file an extra $25 or whatever. So if I owe you more money, I'll pay it, but I'd like to order all the windows if I could.
No, it's one project, there won't need to, and it's, even though it's two addresses, it's not, it's one property that you're doing all the work on to keep it the same and to keep everything alike. I think that's great. Yeah, as long as we're not dealing with the first floor entresol windows or anything like that, the second floor with the clad windows like that should not be a problem.
Yes.
The other thing it says is front door. What,
Yes, we're going back and forth on that. The front door had gotten painted through the years, but the last film that was there got really rough with it and damaged the door. We're trying to fix it, but it's 50/50. Like, if you were Ken, I'd have to tell you that, make plans for your door. So far, it's looking like we're going to have to replace it. If we do need to replace it, we would keep the look identical, other than interior-wise, we're going all back to wood-looking instead of painted trim. And we'd like to have that a wood door if we go to the expense of.
if you replace, that was
Sure.
that was what I was going to suggest and say that on the downstairs door, it would need to be a wooden commercial door like this. It looks like it's a three-quarter light.
Yes, if you guys like the look of it, I think it's in keeping. I'd probably have them match that, but in wood. One thing we found too is, just because of our clientele, I'm painting a horrible picture. I mean, they're high-end people, most of them come in with a change of clothes and a toothbrush. But I do find that a front door gets scraped so many times that just even from a maintenance issue, we paint it every month. And it would just be, if it's a wood door, it doesn't show scratches as quick.
And also, I'm not opposed, and if the rest of the commission would chime in on that. Like I said before, it shows to be a three-quarter door, three-quarter light door. For that matter, if it is a full light, full glass wood door, a commercial that would fit that area, that I feel would be fine also as a solid piece of glass, possibly even beveled, which would fit that era and fit the look of the building. Does that sound acceptable to the commission? And that would help
Wonderful,
cut
that
down,
gives me some options.
and that gives you some options, plus it gives a little bit better, being that it is exposed to the elements right there. The more glass, you're not going to have as much
Oh, that's a good idea, right.
Exposure.
exposure and scraping and painting on that part. Now, yes, the frame will be, but at least the glass would help somewhat.
And now that you mentioned that, the other doors on that building are full light. I didn't even think about that. It's like
They
one,
are.
yes, full glass.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I go in
that,
it every day and I didn't notice that, but you're right.
so that would be, that's an acceptable thing too,
Okay,
so.
okay.
Any other comments or concerns?
When do you anticipate starting?
2 months ago.
Okay,
No, we would like to, they are
after the parade, you'll start ripping out, okay.
That's right. They are custom windows, so we need to order them. And so it is one of those things where right now everybody's ordering windows. So our turnaround went from, I think, they said 4 weeks to, now we're in probably the 2-month zone to, a month from now, it'll be in the 6-month zone.
So sometime this summer, possibly?
Yes, as soon as we can get them, we're gonna finish our renovations. We're doing a very extensive
I've noticed.
renovation. Thank you. And a lot more.
Can't wait to see it.
It's, hopefully it'll be wonderful. But we'll probably go ahead and get the rooms occupiable, and because at this point, by the time the windows come in, I want to already be renting rooms, and then we'll just start popping them in. But we'll try to do it around theater schedules and festival schedules, because obviously that's our clientele too. So we're probably looking at Mondays, drop and swap all our way through the building.
Okay. Very good. That'll help the building out a lot.
Well, thank you.
Are those the original windows that are in it now, by the way, or have they been replaced once before?
If they were replaced, and I believe they were, it would have been like in the 1990s.
Yeah.
So they were kind of cool windows. Like I actually fought for a while to keep them, other than the fact that they're not energy efficient, they're not quiet, they leak air and everything else and could fall out. So from the insides, they look wonderful. So if anybody wants wall hangings or something, you can put these on your wall. But as far as from, most of them do not have the wavy glass. So I think it was in the 1990s when they renovated that building.
When they renovated the last time?
I
Okay.
saw pictures of the building fairly boarded up at one point
Right.
in its life. So
Very well. Any other comments? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the windows to be replaced with what is submitted. And for a front door to be allowed, a wooden commercial front door, either 3/4 or full glass light.
wonderful.
And then the screen, either full screen or no screen.
Yes, full screen or no screen.
Okay.
I'll move.
We
A
have a
second.
motion, and we have a second. Would you ask us how we feel, Mr. Mosley?
Okay. Motion to approve windows with either full screen or no screen and a wood commercial or full glass door to be replaced as well. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Hearing none. Motion carried.
This is
Very well.
after the fact, but when you get the new windows installed, are you going to repaint the trim in the same colors?
Actually, that's a really good question. Currently, the colors on it are almost even hard to detect because it was so long ago.
Right.
On the ground floor, we've painted the scheme that was originally approved by Renee Spinetto. And so we are going to go with that new paint scheme up
All the
above.
way up.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the window part, the vinyl window part will be white. And then, and if you want, I can show you a picture if that helps.
No,
But it
that's
is
fine.
going to go to those other three colors as it goes out.
Just like yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Larry.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 7, discussion and possible action regarding application number 2015-2011-2895 for the property located at 105 West Cleveland Avenue regarding a request to construct 2 handrails for customers entering and exiting the building. The applicant, Ms. Bonnie Calvert, located at 105 West Cleveland, seeks approval to construct 2 handrails for customers entering and exiting her business. The handrails will be 42 inches by 59 by 19. It says feet here, which I know that can't be right. From the building, the material to be used will be wrought iron. Any comments from staff? None? Ms. Calvert? From looking at the pictures, these handrails, for lack of a better way, they're way too residential for a commercial building. I'm afraid they're not, in fact, after looking it up today, they're not even ADA compliant. I don't know what we can do they need to be more substantial for a commercial building than what we have here, something like what's on the Pincushion building or other buildings around town of the tubular, larger nature. That's just what I see right off the bat. These look just like they came off of a residential house, and that just doesn't really work in the historic district.
Okay.
Any other comments from the commission?
It appears they've already been done, so
It does appear. Also, they're not even the same pitch. From this picture, it looks, and I think when
Sides don't match.
they just don't match. It looks like they were, I don't know how they came or where they came, but the pitch of the handrail itself isn't even.
there's 4
Even-
spindles on one and 3 on the other.
Yeah. I think that has to do with the nature of the building. There's a support or a wall that juts out
Okay, I
there.
see.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a
Wouldn't-
4-inch drain pipe right beside my door, so
Hmm.
I've got to have something, because most of my clients are older people that need, in fact, one of us, usually I always go help them in or out.
Sure.
And because if it's cold, the ice,
Exactly.
I've had 2 people fall.
Oh, yeah.
And-
I can understand that. I
Are
think
you
that,
saying that they need to be round and tubular?
not necessarily round and tubular, but just of a more substantial, a heavier gauge metal with, that doesn't, the corner building at the corner of Oklahoma and First Street around there, right across from Bank First, actually, it's the Bobo's building, the old pincushion building, where they put up
okay.
new hand railing too. And it's of a commercial grade and weight, and that would be something what really needs to be put there. I could see it actually being put on the step itself, which gives even the support on the.
Well, I
and-
don't think I can put it on the step itself because of, there's a wooden in between where the step and the brick start. I don't think that it would, I'll look at it
Okay.
to see what you're talking about.
But again,
But the reason that it was anchored to the building and to the sidewalk was so that it would be substantial and not, because that door and the wood around it is so old that it's not going to
Support.
work.
right, you wouldn't really attach it to the frame of the door or anything like that. It would be
Well,
self-supporting to the.
there's a place about like this on the side of the door
Mhm.
that is wood. And the step itself goes a little bit on the other side of that.
Any other comments from the commission? No comments. I think we need to rethink this again, ma'am, and get something that's more commercially suited. I have got to make a motion, or I not make a motion, but entertain for a motion to disallow the handrail as submitted and look for something that's a little, that's more commercial and more ADA compliant.
I think we need to look at something that's more ADA compliant.
Okay, so I need to resubmit.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I believe that what you've already submitted, now there probably is no submission of cost involved, it's just resubmitting of plans. You've already paid you've already paid to be in front of the commission, so it's just resubmitting new plans for us to look at.
And when does this have to be taken down?
Uh,
I'm in the middle of tax season. I've got clients coming continually.
I don't see a problem if it's already there, and that's a bad thing to come in front of the commission for something that's already there.
Well, April 15th is tax day, so
Yeah,
why?
I wouldn't bring, I don't believe we're going to tell you, you have to take it down tomorrow, so like Commissioner Long was
First of
saying.
May.
May would, yes.
May 1st.
May 1st and show us a new, or, May 1st and bring us back something May 1st at the May commission and
Okay, because by then, the majority of my clients will be
should
slowing
be,
down.
yeah, and that way at least it gives them something, but yes, we're going to have
Well,
to change that.
I've had some that, like I said, I've had two that fell. And I can't afford a lawsuit.
Sure. No, that's understandable. So, yeah, we'll work with you on that.
So it's 1st of May,
Yes, yes,
Okay.
please.
and I'll go look. You said pincushion?
If you look at that railing, or something like that, I'm sure some railing or fencing contractor can give you some ideas of what they have available and things
Okay.
like that. But
Okay.
yes, this is just a little, it's just too residential,
Okay.
for lack of a better way to put it, I think
Okay.
that's what it is.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a,
We did
already
not
have-
have a motion.
huh?
We did not have a
We
motion.
did not have a motion.
You did.
That's what I,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
We have a motion.
Did I hear a second?
Second.
And we have a second. Please ask us how we feel on
Motion to disapprove as submitted. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Thank you very much.
First motion.
I was kind of talking low, sorry. Oh, I can be louder.
Bring back my. Okay, moving on to item 8, discussion and possible action regarding application number 2015-2011-2971 for the property located at 420 South Division. Background, Michael and Betty, it's Freeze, isn't it? Yes. Pardon? That is correct. I did good, thank you. Are seeking approval to paint and small demolition on the property known as the Rock Island Depot. Painting includes the roof eaves, overhang supports, and window trim, the eaves, fascia, and soffits, dock doors, walk-in doors, as well as replacing the roof shingles. The applicant is also seeking approval to remove the second-story addition that is not historic to the building, resulting in the reveal of the original roof line and roof supports. The applicant would also like to move the dock door from the east side to center placement on the west side. A replica door will be installed and function as a working overhead door. Any comments from staff?
That was a very large background, just because the applicants are looking to do a lot of different projects on this building, so thank you.
Thank you. If you don't mind, sir, if you mind standing up here at the mic, we have some questions. My first question is, I see you're wanting to tear off the back second story off of, say, the little addition or the bump out on the back of the building, which looks rather old. Is it not original to the building?
It's not.
Okay.
It looks like even the bottom, is that cinder block, is that an
None of
addition
that.
also, or?
None of that's original to the
Right.
building.
Okay. I say it was probably put there for the,
I'm
If
sorry.
you look, I think I gave everyone something that the museum had.
In the building history, it says permission to remodel in 1939. Was that when that stuff was added?
There are approximately 7 building permits in about a 10-year period there. And it's real obvious from the construction. And I actually asked Nathan and Aaron and others from the museum to come down and look at it so they could see that. It looks like the small brick structure, the farthest south structure, was done professionally. And beginning at about, for sake of discussion, about the center point, just to the south of that walk-in door, it looks like vagrant labor or is very poorly done. It's very slipshod. And as you look at the building, you can determine what was modified using professional tradesmen and what was modified just using someone who was available and willing.
But you're going to keep the first floor structure and just put a new roof on it once and I take it that's a framed, yes, and that's the way it's going to, so you're not going to take it off and rebuild it, you're just going to take it off and then put a new roof over the brick or,
If you can notice from the picture and then viewing the artist rendering, when that was added on, it covered another dock door.
yes.
And you can see the eyebrow of that other
Yes.
door. The structure that's there currently is in very, very poor condition, and it interferes with the original roof line. It covers up the original roof line, and it's very apparent as you walk through there that you can see that this was, added on in several stages.
Okay.
And so our purpose would be to reveal the original roof line and still save the ground floor of that building, but lower the roof on it, make it a one-story structure rather than a two-story structure. And the whole north end of that is a clay block that's typically used either for tiling or it's not, we had an engineer look at it, it's not an exterior block.
Yes, that is usually used for an interior block or infill before
Yes.
the final trim, or
Yes.
either brick or stucco or anything. Yes, I understand. It's a clay infill.
So what we proposed was to the east add-on addition to put corrugated galvanized roofing on that portion of the building, and then cover that, rather than remove that clay block, cover it with galvanized corrugated metal as well. And reading the history of that material, it came into strong usage in the mid-19th century.
Yes.
And so,
And that is going to be the true corrugated galvanized,
yes,
probably 2 foot by however long,
Yes.
16-foot sheets. Okay.
exactly. And I had found a facility in Yukon that actually makes that, but when I asked them just for a sample, I was going to include, I couldn't get the right person to get a sample, so I don't have but it is the true corrugated galvanized, like you see on the oldest type of structures.
We've approved that before for Stables Cafe
Yes.
for their patio
Looks great.
roof, which, and it does look good, so that's how that
Okay.
would be looking, and that would fit with that. Wow. I think that's great. And I just wanted to make a mention here, I think and your plan is just really, really nice. I hate to see fabric, and the reason I ask is I hate to see things taken off of old buildings or where they remove fabric from what has been there a long time and has now become historic, even though it wasn't original. But what you have proposed and what you want to do with it, I think is acceptable to do that, in my opinion. Any other thoughts or ideas from the commission?
I think the plans look great.
I do too.
Phenomenal.
I'm
I'm
impressed
that you're
excited.
taking it
I'm
Yeah,
so
and that
happy
is
with
very
someone
impressive.
that's going to be responsible.
Because that is a jewel
Yeah.
of Guthrie, and it has been an eyesore for a while, for a number of years, and you are really, from what you're showing here and what you're doing, thank you for making a very impressive change and well-needed
We're excited
upgrade.
about it too. We're honored to,
As the red paint color says, you'll be dressed to impress.
Yes,
Yeah.
When
that's
it's
it.
all said and done.
Great.
well, thank you.
Well, without any further comment, is there any further comment from the
What
commission?
about the colors? Are we looking at the colors? Is there any discussion? on the colors?
Well, that's a good point. Do we have a discussion on colors? We have dress to impress, I guess
Fig. Frontier Road.
Frontier Red.
And the black suede, I think they're all great colors.
I do too.
Do you have
They're-
any,
I love all these colors, and I know they're not on our color chart.
well, they don't
But-
have to be.
But they just have to be close to
I
something,
know, and
so
I'm,
I'm impressed.
yeah.
And then with the green shingle,
Yes.
and that's going, and it is the timberline type
Did you
of,
see this?
I'm sorry.
Did you see the shingles?
the
Sarah?
shingles. that
Not yet.
we can.
I love the
Pick that
black
up and
suede.
slide it down, right?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
get this down here. Here we go. We'll let everybody take a look at it.
Oh, yeah.
You sure? Did that come
No,
out?
that's
That right.
yours. Oh, it came out of that package.
Yes.
So, I will make a motion to approve as submitted.
Thank you.
I'll
We have a
second.
motion. And we have a second to approve as submitted.
All right. Motion to approve as submitted. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
And thank you for the extensive
Thank you so much.
paperwork you gave us.
I think that was the most rejoiceful aye we've all
Yes.
sung together in unison.
No, I just want to thank you again. I mean, that
Yes.
is remarkable to
It
take
is.
on such a property that's in such a prominent location and take it from an eyesore to something that's beautiful. Our community is indebted to you for doing that.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it
Thank
is.
you. And just as
We're
a,
going to be in debt.
just as a side note, Mike and his wife give us a tour, the staff a tour of the museum, and I took pictures and just for curiosity's sake, some of the pictures that I took while we were there.
Cool.
Okay, so you guys can see the inside if you guys haven't had the opportunity.
And we would invite, if any members of the commission would like to look at it before we start, we, open invitation.
When are you available? I want to see
Yes,
it.
I would love to see it too.
We'll post an agenda and everything. I mean, we can have a quorum there. It's fine.
Yeah, we have to do
Thank you,
something.
Cody.
If we all show up at the same
Or we can't talk to
time,
one another
That's
or
right.
Right.
something, you know.
it's like, who are you? You have to go incognito.
Monday probably works well, because that way, if anybody from the museum wanted to attend, it'd be easy.
Nice Christmas tree.
That-
It's still there.
Are there any, just out of, off topic, anything
Yeah.
railroad-oriented left in the building?
There really isn't, has that Rock Island sign, I think someone made that, because when you look at the history of ownership, it really was Rock Island for a fairly short time.
Yes.
And, reading about the Rock Island Railroad in that era, they were noted for fast freight transportation. That was kind of their niche in the market. And so it's possible that a lot of the material for the Masonic Temple came through that depot.
Wow.
But it is just set up like a freight depot. It's, someone has done some modifications at the north end of it. And, we can only guess if those rooms that we're gonna tear off, if they were, someone who worked there, if that was their living quarters or what, but.
Wow. Very interesting. Look forward to going through it. Thank you.
Yeah, there's tracks on the back side of it. There's actually two sets of tracks
Oh,
on
man.
the east side of the building, so.
Interesting. That's, well, you want to put a train back on it?
That would be neat.
It would be.
Even if we could get one of those,
Hand
Hand
cart.
crank.
Hand carts, yeah. And just thinking the same thing.
That's great. Well, thank you very much again. Appreciate all your hard work on that.
Anxious to see it underway.
Yes.
and we plan on documenting it as we move through our,
Oh, great. Yes, please do. That'd be something well worthwhile, what you're doing to it.
And the museum will thank you.
Yes, the museum will thank you. I will thank you very much.
Moving on to item 9, staff comments.
hard to follow that up on it.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's so excited and to see such great plans already developed. No.
Scare me.
I just can't follow it up, really. But thank you again to the Freeze family for taking that on. That's going to be a huge project, and I know it's just going to be a great result at the end. So, not to be Debbie Downer, but just continuing on, I guess. We are kind of in commissioner recruitment phase right now, obviously with an upcoming transition with our current chairman, and piecing together other members for compliancy with the ordinance. So we're looking to do that. That'll probably happen in the June meeting officially, just with wrapping up these upcoming elections. If you haven't seen, the Publishing Museum RFP has been on the street. I think that they're giving another tour. I think that we missed one recently. Is that right?
Yes, and there's one tomorrow,
One tomorrow. The tour is tomorrow.
There's one
Okay.
tomorrow.
That's okay.
from 9
Anyways.
until noon.
9 until noon. So the Publishing Museum RFP, it's been kind of an extremely hot topic. We've gotten plenty of different phone calls about it, a lot of different attraction going towards that right now. We went to the State Historic Preservation Quarterly meeting a week ago, or 2 Thursdays ago, I guess, and did a lot of really great things. We might be applying for a grant with them to kind of do some historic preservation education in our community and those types of things. We haven't applied for one of those grants in about 8 years, according to SHPO, but looking to get back on that and start utilizing and educating more of our community about historic preservation and how it relates to all things planning and economic development. So, and really, that's I'm gonna stop there. But thank you guys again for being here.
On the HP education note, the discs I passed out, there's some interesting articles and just some historic preservation research, the history of the Main Street program, and I think in Michigan and all of its successes and what it's accomplished in there and some of the other historic neighborhoods as kind of case studies. So there's a whole bunch of interesting reading on there. And just for technical research, I put on the bottom of it, the National Park Service has their preservation briefs, their technical preservation briefs. So if there's ever anything that comes up in the commission about something very specific, there's information available there.
I want to say thank you very much for taking your time today to burn those discs off for us, for everybody on the commission. That'll be really interesting reading. Any comments from board commissioners?
I've had a couple of people approach me asking me about the bump outs that are being planned for the corners of downtown streets, and why that has not been brought to the Preservation Commission for approval.
Because,
And I told them I didn't think it was ours to approve, but I wanted to hear that.
and I'll tell you, just because that project necessarily hasn't even, the planning phase for that hasn't even been completed.
Okay.
But if you guys would like to take a look at that at another time, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about what we've heard from our landscape architects, Latera Studios, out of the Dallas metro area.
Yes.
Is that a head nod? Okay. I'll look to bring those downtown improvement projects, kind of early stage planning. The reason that hasn't been completed is because we are working with kind of a two-entity organization, ACOG and Department of Transportation, on the opening up of a grant for out of their, what do they call it, their Transportation Alternatives Program. If that grant is completed, then if it's open, then it is likely that with the help of Latera Studios that we will apply for that grant to kind of finalize that overall project. And so the scope hasn't really been determined at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? I would like to make one. I'd like to make it for an agenda item on the next meeting, please, is that there's too many things happening right now in the historic district where people are going ahead and installing what they're asking for during the commission meeting. we need to have some teeth. We need to make an amendment to the ordinance that there will be some consequence or penalty involved for people who go ahead and do things prior to coming in before this commission. It just doesn't fly for us to be giving leniency, or people come and ask forgiveness instead of permission. So we need to do that on our next, at our next meeting. If there's something that you can put together for us from the planning department or from staff that we can maybe look at as, say, an amendment to the ordinance, that there can be some penalty that we can look at and discuss next meeting, I think would be very helpful, because I see it happening more and more, and we cannot let this keep going.
And just for saving time, I'll go ahead and list that as a recommendation item so that you can discuss it and kind of put together a final recommendation for City Council to amend that ordinance at the same time. So
Very good.
kind of a two-in-one situation.
Good deal. Thank you very much. Anything else? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion?
So moved.
second it.
So moved. Thank you very much,
Well,
everybody.